Man, what a great video. That's surely who he was. He was Mr. Cool, Mr. Not to Worry. And what a great picture. It has him with a microphone, so kind of where he was in his element. And for those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Sam. I'm his second eldest son. And I'd like to set a tone for this eulogy for the storied life of my father. At the end of the presentation, if you were entertained, intrigued, or inspired, applaud him. If you ever learned something from him, applaud him. No one ever loved the center stage more than Dad, and no one deserves your applause more than him. And at the end of the day, we're in a church. He just might hear us. And with that, I'm going to hand it to my brother.
Thank you. Ode to a Renaissance man. Life is good. Thank you all for making the time today to celebrate the life of Tomás Noel Tijerina. For those of you that don't know me, I'm TJ Tijerina. I'm his eldest son. As we take this journey into the storied life of Tomás, I'd like for everyone to take solace that he passed away with his family present. And although we as family and friends are very sad, we rejoice in knowing that he is in heaven looking down on us. Tomás departed this world on February 9th, leaving behind a legacy of love, generosity, and a profound impact that will forever be cherished by those who knew and loved him. A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans. Brothers and sisters, no one lives for oneself, and no one dies for oneself. For if we live for the Lord. If we die for the Lord. So then whether we live or die, we are the Lord's. For this is why Christ died and came to life, so that he might be the Lord of both the dead and the living. Why then do you judge your brother? Or you, why do you look down on your brother? For we shall stand before the judgment seat of God, for it is written, As I live, says the Lord, every knee shall bend before me, and every tongue shall give praise to God. So then each of us shall give an accounting of himself to God. The word of the Lord. Some of y'all knew him as El Jefe, or Chief. Some of y'all might remember La Cabeza, or the HMIC, which proudly stood for Head Mexican in Charge. As for my brothers and sister, he will be remembered as Dad. Dad was the epitome of a Renaissance man. His depth of knowledge on an array of subjects was astonishing. He was educated, cultured, and proficient in just about everything. And one thing is for sure, whatever he did it well. He was a perfectionist and never turned down an opportunity to roll up his sleeves and get the job done. My father was a man of strength, integrity, and immense kindness. He had a unique ability to light up a room with his humor and warmth, making everyone feel welcome and valued. He taught us the importance of hard work, respect for others, and the value of humility. To my father, family was everything. He was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a doting grandfather. His legacy lives on through us, his family, and the countless lives that he touched with his generosity and compassion.
Dad was born October 18th, 1954 in San Antonio, Texas, where they lived there for roughly 10 years. He attended St. Mary's Catholic School. After a brief stint in Alice, Texas, Tomás and family moved to McAllen in late 1965, where he attended Our Lady of Sorrows Catholic School and graduated from McAllen High School in 1972. And if you knew him during this time, you knew him as Tommy. And even at a young age, Tommy had strong convictions. He truly believed in his... He made the local paper for being suspended from school for having long hair. He truly believed his parents should be a choice, and he went so far to wear a wig to school. Dad voluntarily enlisted in the Army directly out of high school. He decided to enlist on his own terms, rather than possibly getting drafted at a later date. During his stint with the military, Tomás was part of the military police with designation 31 Bravo. He was stationed at a hospital in Colorado Springs, and his specialty was dog training. Tomás completed his enlistment honorably with his DD-214 discharge. After the military, Dad stayed in Colorado for a couple years, enjoying everything that life had to offer, from snow skiing in the mountains to philosophizing with an old sage named Red. There he is right there. I'm told he looked like Yosemite Sam. TJ said ZZ Top. I think it's in between. Around this same time, Dad used a portion of his GI Bill to pay for his aviator license, along with his multi-engine and DC-3 rating. As a pilot, he navigated the skies with grace and precision. And as a pilot instructor, Dad had great impact on countless aspiring pilots, imparting his knowledge and love for aviation. Dad was mine and TJ's first instructor. He helped us record our first hours in our pilot's logbook. And when I was 13 or so, I couldn't see over the dash of the plane, so I actually gained some instrument hours with him sitting right next to me. I thought it was so cool to work on obtaining my pilot's license before my driver's permit. In the late 1970s, Dad fell in love and married my mom. They eloped and moved to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And from what I understand, PV in the 80s was the place to be. Living life to the fullest with a multitude of businesses to help fund a modest but fulfilling life. As a natural-born entrepreneur, he owned several taco and hot dog stands and flew cargo in a Douglas DC-3 right here. In this stage in his life is where he first embraced having a family, having 2 boys on the beaches of Puerto Vallarta. In the early 80s, Dad and family moved back to McAllen so the boys could attend school and begin life as I remember it. Continuing with his entrepreneurial spirit, Dad was a professional videographer and photographer. He even worked as an intern at the Monitor. And here's his introduction here in 1987, introducing him to the Monitor. It's really, really cool. Some of you will remember his creative side, directing some great home movies, shot at the ranch in Raymondville. And I think of these characters, Mama-san and Papa-san. I don't know if y'all remember that, you were in the video. It was actually pretty difficult finding pictures of Dad because he was always the one behind the camera. I recall Dad having a dark room where he would develop his own film, and many of his best shots were of his family. Anytime I walked in there, it was a teaching opportunity in the process of developing film. And believe me, he never missed an opportunity to teach. His love for photography was vast and widespread. He was even in charge of the photo finishes at Las Palmas Downs Racetrack. This is one of his shots. Dad also had a passion for the stars and was an avid astronomer. We would stargaze for hours anytime the skies were clear. And in 1986, we had a chance to witness Halley's Comet together. It was such a big deal for him. I remember he told TJ and I we have a rare opportunity to be able to see it twice in one lifetime. Next time being 2061, so we have 37 years to go. Almost there. In the 90s, Tomas, alongside his brother Louis, continued his entrepreneurial spirit and became proud owners of Pepe's on the River, a cherished establishment that brought joy and camaraderie to the community. Together, they cultivated a welcoming atmosphere where friends gathered to create lasting memories and to savor the simple pleasures of life. At the core, Dad was an amazing promoter, being able to pack that place every Sunday, or gaining spectators for the world record's largest raspa. He truly knew how to put on a show and was a real ringleader. Some of my best memories were made on that river. So when my brother and I learned to water ski, and we used to put on ski shows with Father Sweeney for the patrons of Pepe's. Dad not only taught TJ and I how to ski, but I'm sure there's some of you out there that he was able to. And he was able to teach anyone that wanted to learn. He was always willing to share his knowledge. Dad would often tell me how important it is to experience everything in life and to try and amass as many licenses as possible. Not only did he teach us to water ski, we also learned to snow ski. We got NAUI certified and scuba dive the corals of Cozumel and cave dive in the cenotes. He taught us how to hunt. He taught us how to fish and to appreciate and respect the outdoors. Dad was such a strong believer in continuous education that through the chaos of being an owner, a bar owner, and a sole breadwinner of a family of 4, he was still able to accomplish his degree in communications from the University of Texas Pan American in 1987. Not long after that, Dad had another chance at love and met Renee. This man was so extraordinary that he was lucky enough not to be loved once, but twice. In his entrepreneurial journey, Tomas and his beloved wife embarked on a new endeavor, building Renee's of Sherryland from the ground up. With dedication and hard work, they transformed their vision into a beloved establishment known for its warmth, hospitality, and exquisite cuisine. And for 15 years, Dad would go to Sam's Club every day to ensure that freshness. And that was a picture of him there. Through Renee's, they not only provided a culinary experience, but also a space where cherished moments were made and cherished memories were shared. In his philanthropist spirit, this is where Dad held his annual Thanksgiving table, where he impacted thousands of lives by providing free warm meals on Thanksgiving Day.
Why take time out of your holiday to do things like this?
Well, we're firm believers in Proverbs 22:9 that says that the generous man will be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor.
Words giving a group of volunteers the motivation to come together and help those in need, those with a new meaning to Thanksgiving this year.
And just as a side note, I found that gem of a video on Dad's YouTube channel. He's eight followers, now he has 9. And if you ever just want to hear his voice, and there's some really good nuggets in there, he's got like 10 or 11 videos. Go check it out. Let's get him some followers. Throughout his life, he embodied the principles of servant leadership, tirelessly devoting himself to the well-being and upliftment of those around him. From building water wells in Africa to providing help for orphanages in Reynosa, his genuine humility and willingness to serve made him a beloved mentor and a teacher to all who had the privilege of crossing paths with him. Dad loved his community and his community loved him. Being recognized as Missions Man of the Year and a member of the Mission Wall of Fame. Later on in life, Dad found equal solace and wonder amidst the delicate wings of butterflies at his beloved ranch and home gardens. With camera in hand, he captured the intricate beauty of these winged creatures. Each photograph a testament to his deep reverence for the natural world and his talent behind the camera, where his gift for storytelling shone brightly. Dad was even recognized by the North American Butterfly Association for this rare sighting of this tiger butterfly that was found at the Garden of Renee's. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the love that he had for Renee and his family. He adored Renee. He protected her to the very end. At the hospital, me and Renee were sitting next to Dad. And Renee leaned in to give him a little kiss on the cheek and said she was going to the restroom and that Sam was here if he needed anything. As soon as she left, he looked up at me and said, "Go with her." And I thought to myself, we're not in a bar in Mexico where she might need an escort, but I quickly said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." And I stepped out of the room for a moment. But that's who he was, her protector, her partner, her lover, her best friend, his everything. His love for everyone in his family ran deep and far and had no boundaries. He loved his kids more than anything in the world, and there was nothing he wouldn't do to keep them safe. He was always someone you could count on, and rest assured, he was always on time. And in closing, you can shed tears because they are gone, or you could smile because they lived. You can close your eyes and pray they'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that they've left for you. You can be empty because you can't see them, or you can be full of the love they shared. You could turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you could be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You could remember only that they are gone, or you can cherish their memory and let it live on. You can close and cry and mind and feel empty, or you can do what they would want. Smile, open your heart, love, and go on. Let's go a little harder. He wants, right here, right here. Give him one more thunderous applause. Let him feel it up there. I can feel it.